Asato ma sadgamaya tamso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's move towards truthfulness. Let's move towards the light of knowledge and wisdom, and let's move towards realizing our immortal nature. Om, peace, peace, peace. The topic is facing challenges in current times. Now we can see this topic in two different perspectives. When we say current times, it could be told in the perspective of, in the view of world. The world is facing the challenge. There is a pandemic raising. There is a challenge to the economy. There is trust deficit. There is warmongering, fanaticism. These are the challenges in front of the world as such. But if we look at from a different angle, what are the challenges for an individual, for a common man? Then we come to know about some other challenges. I often, being in the profession, I keep talking to people, and whenever I ask them the challenges, they say there is challenge related to career, there is challenge related to health, there is challenge related to relationships. All these are the challenges a common man faces, his finances, his economy, all those things. Now, how do we handle these challenges and how do we understand the reason of the challenges? If you look at Swami Vivekananda's thought process, if you've read his life and his letters, I have always felt that his thought process was always beyond the surface. More than the effect, he could always analyze the cause. So unless we look at the causes, the treatment would, in medical language, would be only symptomatic. And that's not the role of a good doctor. So I too have this hobby or habit of contemplating, thinking, figuring out why so many people are facing this problem. And I come to conclusion, in the interest of time, to the three key features, three distinct features of the current times, the times we are living. These are three distinct features of the current world we are living. What are these three distinct features? And then I will tell you, because of having these three distinct features, majority of the people would follow certain pattern in their behavior, in their thought process, which will create few challenges for them. So what are the three distinct features of today's world? Let's understand. First feature, very clear feature, is fast pace of change. The world is changing so fast. This is a very clear feature. If you see, things happen in haste today, things happen very fast. Till January, or we can say December 2019, the world was a different thing. And in India, through March onwards, we entered as if in a completely different times, completely different era. This COVID thing happened. Within a year, we have at least half a dozen good vaccines. Can you see the pace of change? Vaccine, I mean, anybody related to medicines will understand vaccine manufacturing can take somewhere up to 20 years, at least 10 to 20 years. This is the average time of vaccine manufacturing happens, but we have done it in 1 year. If you see the way a business comes up and a business goes down in today's world, it happens in months. Earlier, it took years. Everything happens so fast in today's world. This is first distinct feature of today's world. No matter what knowledge we gain, the knowledge becomes obsolete very fast. There are new things coming up every day. New options are coming. So the second feature, first is fast changing pace. I will come to the challenges just after understanding these three distinct features. Second distinct feature of the world is it gives us so many choices, abundance of choices. Take the example of this Zoom meeting. How many options a person has to actually decide from? Should I go on Zoom? Should I go on Microsoft Teams? Should I go on Google Meets? Should I go on, there are dozen very good softwares to choose which to connect from. If you go to buy a t-shirt, a shirt, a mobile phone, no matter what you want to buy today, you have plethora of choices. So many choices. You just go on Amazon, that app, and you keep on clicking, and there are hundreds of options available in everything. If a student has to choose career today, again, so many choices. These were not there 2 or 3 decades back. The choices were very limited. You go to a restaurant to eat something, again, you will find so much on the menu card. Menu cards were not so long, couple of decades back. Okay. So the world provides so many choices in today's world. That is the second distinct feature. Okay. Third distinct feature of the today's world is it tends to overload us with information. It tends to overload us with information. The quantity of data we consume is unfathomable, unimaginable. Every day, the number of content, the quantity of content goes in forms of videos, documents, blogs, audio, so many, is simply unimaginable. So much data consumption is happening. I'm not talking about internet data. I'm talking about the information which we are consuming. The number of videos we see, the number of social media things we go through, so much is being consumed. So these are 3 distinct features. Okay, there are some more, but in the interest of time, I want to keep it up to 3 so that we can have some time for questions at later end. So now you may think, what is the problem with these 3 things? Okay, if change is happening fast, if we can create vaccine fast, if we can bring things faster, it's a good thing. If we have so many choices, it's actually freedom. I can choose what I like, and a lot of information is not a bad thing. So at surface, it looks it's not a challenge, but I want you to understand it from a different angle. First thing, when the change of pace is so fast, please listen to it carefully. When the change of pace is so fast, it breeds impatience. It breeds impatience. We go through a psychological shift where we start expecting things very fast. So today we are experimenting how to get fruits from the mango tree within first year or second year. We want to even short circuit the nature. Okay. We want to do everything fast, whether it's with nature or against nature. A person who just passes out from his college wants to do the job or wants to do his business, wants to become a millionaire in a couple of years. They are not planning for one fun decade. They are not like Narayan Murthy's, who had not got anything for almost first 10 years, who were patient enough to wait and do things systematically. No, I want result. If you look at the challenges of the industry today, ask any HR person, one of the key challenges, high attrition rate. People join and people leave. So many people join every year, so many people leave because lack of patience. They want everything quick. They want everything fast. So this creates a behavior where our youth want to get fruits before developing roots. We want things at cost of maturity. I don't want to spend time on maturity, but I want results. Okay. I can simply watch, as doctors also, we face this. I just go on Google, read for 10 minutes about something, and I talk to a doctor as if I'm another doctor. I argue as if I know everything. With that shallow knowledge, I tend to think that I know everything. And this impatience will harm the person in every way. Why? Because it will breed short-termism. People will not be able to plan for long. Short-termism. We plan, today's youth not even plans for 1 month. Maximum 1 week. Otherwise, 1 day, 2 days. That's it. Beyond that, they know that I cannot plan. Things will change. Okay? And this is visible in every area. Short-termism. Short-term gratification. Anything significant, if I have to do, I need to have the temperament to wait and do things systematically one by one. Anything significant requires its own sweet time. But when I don't have patience, I short circuit things. I go into things which may be unethical. I try to short circuit things, short circuit market. I try to cheat people to make money faster, and later on think that I will donate and I'll feel fine with that. So impatience also create issues with relationships. People don't have patience. Okay, so children don't get time of the parents because parents are busy in their WhatsApp messages, in their Facebook messages, in their YouTube videos. They don't give time. No patience. We want our children to be like Einstein by age 5. We want to give them too many courses. We want to overload them also with the information. Where is the time? Where is the patience? Obviously, this will create trouble. The moment I go to hospital, in one day, I want recovery. Otherwise, I will sue the hospital. I will shout against the doctor. I know how many people in COVID, they suffered because they were not having enough faith and enough patience to deal with their treatment chart. So within one day, they are going with one doctor, then they are going with another doctor, confused man, no patience. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will happen. Why are they giving vaccine? Why are they giving this? No patience to sit and read and understand the situation. Impatience is a big trouble for today's generation, for today's times. And because of impatience, as a chain reaction, so many other problems. So that's the first challenge. Second challenge, I told you, plethora of choices. That's the second distinct feature of today's world. So many choices. So at surface, we think it's a good thing to have so many choices. I want idli, I will eat idli. I want dosa, I'll have dosa. I want biryani, I'll eat biryani. Otherwise, I want chapati. Whatever I want, I can have. Yes, it's a good thing to have so many choices. There's nothing wrong. What is the problem with it? The problem is when I operate out of impatience, when I operate out of immaturity, when I do not have maturity to make choice and stick with it for a certain period of time, then having too many choices will lead to confusion. It will lead to confusion. So I have joined one job. Now my heart and soul has to be in that job if I want to really perform at my peak. But no, while I'm doing this job, I'm looking what is my friend doing. I'm looking what is there on the social media. I'm looking at the other aspects. And because of that, what will happen? I will not be able to give my 100%, a confused person. I will go to some other place. Let us say I want to buy something. I want to go and buy a sari. That man has shown me 10,000 saris. Somehow I selected one. But after coming home also, I'm thinking I should have bought that one, not this one. Confusion. With that confusion, I will not be at peace, even though I have made right choice. People can take right decision, but if they do not have the conviction in their decision, if they do not have the clarity of sticking with the choice for a certain time, having too many choices are actually bad for such people because they don't have maturity to deal with the choices. You give them two choices, they're happy. They should go in a hotel where there is no menu card. There is a tiffin system. You eat whatever is there. They come happy because now they are not comparing. Otherwise, I am at my job, but I am looking at my friend and I think his job is better. Every day I look at into my plate and my plate looks worse than others. This is the tendency because we do not have the maturity to deal with so many choices. And you can see this reflection. The sincerity goes down. When things are available in abundance, we do not realize the value. And it's visible in every way. The casualness, the sense of casualness. I will change my life partner. That has become the casualness now. Why the divorce rates are increasing? Because there's a sense of casualness in everything. I have so many choices. So what? So many people live like this. And when this thought process comes, the mind starts entertaining different thoughts process. What happens with that? My hands are not where my heart is. Mismatch. I'm in a job, but my heart is somewhere else. I want to prepare for IAS, but I want to do that also, that also, that also. Yes, we are capable of doing anything, but we are not capable of doing everything. You have to understand. This is a big confusion problem with a lot of people. And because of that, the problems happen. Third thing, overload of information. So there is this man called Simon Benson or something. He gives a beautiful quote. He says, overload of information, abundance of information creates poverty of attention. Abundance of information creates poverty of attention. So what happens with this? Loss of concentration. Loss of concentration. Swami Vivekananda spoke a lot about fearlessness and focus, concentration. In fact, he told the difference between man and man is the his degree at his degree of concentration. Difference between man and animal is also the same, he says. No power can withhold if we sustain concentration, focus, if we apply at something, no problem can stand. But when we do not have focus, when we do not have concentration, we cannot do anything worthwhile. My ability to stay focused at one task for a long time has gone down. Now I may be very capable, but I cannot execute things because I keep on shifting. You know, Swami Vivekananda says an untrained human mind. In his book Raj Yoga, he says an untrained human mind is like a monkey, not an ordinary monkey. What is the nature of monkey? Keeps on jumping here, there. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like a monkey, which is drunk, bitten by a scorpion and possessed by a devil. That kind of monkey is an untrained human mind. When overload of information happens, it's like indigestion of food. I eat more than what I can digest. What will happen? It will create issue. Similarly, when I consume more information than what I can digest. See, digestion is not just understanding. There is one step ahead. After you have digested the food, you need to assimilate the food. You need to convert that food into human cells. That growth has to happen. Similarly, after I have consumed the knowledge, that next YouTube video, that next WhatsApp message, that next article which I have read, I just don't have to understand and write a comment about it. I have to do what we call manana. Manana. I have to actually internalize it. I have to see it from my own viewpoints. I have to test it. If I don't do it, it is only going to create indigestion. It is only going to create confusion. It is only going to make me lose my concentration and focus. And when I don't have focus, I can have all the abilities in the world, but I will never be able to bear fruits out of those abilities because I have lost the ability to apply my skills. I am skillful. There are many youth, extremely talented, extremely logical, extremely capable, but they are not able to stay put, stay focused at one thing for a long time. Therefore, they are not reaping benefits. So that's third challenge, which comes because of the abundance of information. Now the question comes, Swami Vivekananda's way of solving this problem. How would Swamiji solve this problem? How would Swamiji solve these three challenges? So I try to assume, I try to, think probably what he would have thought. So if you read about Swamiji, you come to know that one thing he spoke about, Atma Shraddha. Atma Shraddha. We do not have an equivalent word in English. So we may equalize it with self-confidence. Now you may think how this is a solution for impatience or confusion or lack of focus. See, we have to go step by step. You will understand how these problems can trigger a solution for everything. Okay. So Swamiji's idea was, and before I explain that, I want especially the students to make a note of this. Please write this. Our actions are always in alignment to our identity. Please make a note of it. Our actions are always in alignment to our identity. Whatever identity I assume, my action will be naturally in alignment to that. It will naturally justify my identity. Right now, I have taken the identity of a speaker. Therefore, my expectations and my action will be that of a speaker who is speaking, and my expectation will be my listeners are going to listen to me. They are going to ask me questions. That's my expectation because I have taken the identity of a speaker right now. Now, people who are listening there, if they have taken the identity of a seeker, then they are absorbing, then they are listening. But let us say if somebody is just observing, there is another channel going on, there is another tab open, there is another YouTube video going on, message going on, they are observing. The identity of an observer, they will observe and leave it. They can benefit only that much. There may be somebody who is comparing what he is speaking, what other speaker is speaking. They will end up becoming judge. Okay. Whatever identity I take, my action, thought process will be influenced by that. Now let's understand about the Atma Shraddha. What is the meaning of Atma Shraddha here? Okay, why Swamiji told or gave so much importance on it? Why did he told this quote that come up alliance, shake off the delusion that you are sheep, you are souls immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. You are not matter, You are not body. Matter is your servant, not you, the servant of matter. Why did he say so? Why did he say that atheist is not the one who doesn't believe in God? Atheist is the one who doesn't believe in self. Why so much emphasis on Atma Shraddha? Why did he told to his Western audience that you are not born sinners, you are Amrutasya Putraha, you are born divine? This Indian thought process, Swamiji had a very, very clear mind. While he appreciated Western thought process of managing things, scaling things, organizing things, materially growing, technologically growing, he appreciated that. But he knew the bottom of it, at the root of it, has to be spiritual ideas. Otherwise, world cannot survive. And he knew whatever problems are coming through material, Indian thought process, spiritual ideas, ideas which come out of our Vedantic model will have the solution for the world. That is why he was nationalist. He was not nationalist just because he was born in India. Now let's understand about Atma Shraddha and how will it help us in solving the problem very quickly. So I told you our actions are in alignment to our identity. Okay. If my identity is I'm a body, I'm mere body, physical is my dominant identity and nothing beyond it, nothing spiritual about it, then I'm perishable. Then I have the quality of fear. Then I have the quality of impatience because body is not permanent. Spirit is considered permanent. Okay. These are all very at foundational level, they create a behavioral change in a person. Okay. Then if I think that whatever I am doing, that's it about my life, my actions are going to define everything about me, and there is nothing other than the physical aspect of it, then my thought process is going to be very limited. I cannot empathize with other people because at body level, me and any other person is different. Only at spiritual level we connect. At body level, me and nature has no connect. At spiritual level, they are all connected. At body level, I have no connection with other person, but at spiritual level, we are all one. There is one light shining through all of us. There is one energy. And once that comes, what happens? The patience is a natural byproduct. You have patience with your kids, but you don't have patience with other children because your kids are considered as mine. Mine. There is natural love. Therefore, I can tolerate more of my kids, but I cannot tolerate more of the same mistakes of other kids. Why? Because I have made them mine by the feeling of that love and natural affection. Swamiji used to cry when he thought about the lakhs, the millions of people sleeping hungry every day in India, even when he was in America. Why that thought process? Because spiritually he felt connected. We are all one. Guided by his master, that was very clear in him. Now that is what gave him the confidence. Now you may be thinking, what is the relation of this with confidence? There was a childhood story of Swami Vivekananda. You know, Swami Vivekananda loved one character, Hanuman. Swami Vivekananda had picture of Sri Rama and he used to pray every day, you know, as a child. One day he came to know during a discussion somewhere that it was actually Hanumanji who did everything for Rama. Okay. And he was very much fascinated when, you know, Hanumanji was realized about his true power. So Swamiji was very much fascinated with that incident. You know what he did? He removed the picture of Rama and he replaced it with Hanuman picture. Look at the thought process of a young child. He told, I have to realize my own strength. I also have to be like Hanuman. I have to realize I'm not just this body. I'm a spirit. Okay? And this helped him to deal with his all kind of logical arguments which he had against everyone. Okay. So it might have become little complicated for us. Let me simplify it further for the interest of the students, especially. Okay. What will happen with this? Let's understand at deeper level. Okay. If I become more patient, what will happen? If I become conscious of that I am not just body, I am a spirit. And at surface level, we are all one. How will it help me? Let me help you by giving some other example of it. Okay. Once I realized the true identity, like Arjun was having a problem during the war. What was his problem? It was an identity problem. Okay. It was not skill problem. Arjun had no doubt that he could not fight against all those people. He was the warrior of warriors. Yes. What was his problem? Identity problem. Identity from being a Kshatriya who was to fight for righteousness, dharma. Suddenly he became identity is, oh, they are my cousins. Oh, they are my, family members. They are my teachers. How can I fight? Identity problem. Krishna did not tell him, see, you are very strong. You are brave. You are the best archer. You can fight like this. No, Krishna knew the man has the skill and knowledge and everything. The problem is with attitude, because his identity he has forgotten. He had to remind him, you are a Kshatriya and your first dharma is fight for righteousness. We have tried our best to avoid this war. But now, since we could not avoid it, you have to follow your dharma. Once the identity shift happens, and he also reminded that even if you want, you cannot kill anyone. You are just killing bodies. You're not killing the spirit. Nainam chindanti shastrani. He told him, the spirit never dies. Okay. With that, Arjuna was resurrected. With that, the energy came. With that, the patience was back. That yes, I have to do this. I have to fight out with this. Okay. So now let's understand the second point. How do I overcome the confusion problem? How do I overcome this too many choices and what to choose and what not to choose? How do I understand that? For that, the remedy what Swami Vivekananda gave is find out the truth yourself. Find out the truth yourself. When he told this, when as a young child, the Champaka tree story. These children used to play in the backyard garden on a tree, Champaka tree. They used to, hang upside down. And someone told them that, there is a Brahma Rakshas. It will come and break your head if you climb on this. All the friends of young Narendranath got scared and ran away. But they saw young Narendranath again going and doing the same thing. And then they, in fear, told, Narendra, don't you know that there is a Brahma that it will kill you? And came down and started laughing. He told, think for yourself. Don't believe what people say. If Brahmadatya was there, we are playing this game for so long. Why didn't it come till now? Find the truth yourself. What happens with the youth today is when there are so many choices. Now listen to this line carefully. Most people today make their choices, make their decisions by imitation and not by contemplation, not by conviction. They are taking their decision by imitation. What's in today? Oh, my friends are taking computer engineering. Let me take computer engineering. There is no contemplation. There is no conviction behind it. Because everybody is doing, let me do. Convenience of choosing majority. If there is a lot of crowd in one store, everybody tends to go there. There may be another store beside, but they think, "Arey, itne log yahan se le rahe, when so many people are taking, let me also choose this." They end up going there. When we take decision like sheeps, when we just choose the herd mentality, oh, everybody wants to be IAS, I also should be IAS. Everybody wants to be doctor, I also should be doctor. I don't contemplate. I do not have the conviction. I do not think. I do not try to find out my own truth. Vivekananda had this ability even to question Sri Ramakrishna. He told him on his face, I think you are hallucinating. I don't believe there is something like this, whatever you are doing. You are mentally not having the balance. This is what he told even to Sri Ramakrishna. That kind of clarity in thought process he wanted. And once Sri Ramakrishna made his doubts clear, the surrender also was complete. Surrender was not there because, oh, there are so many disciples. Oh, there are so many people following him. Let me also follow Sri Ramakrishna because there are 10 more disciples. Narendranath was least bothered about how others are behaving with him. Narendranath spoke his mind, and that's what Sri Ramakrishna liked. That you test. You don't believe a word I say. You test. And once you test, once Vivekananda tested everything, he understood. Unless I surrender, I cannot fathom. What I'm trying to judge is much bigger, much larger than my logical realm. And then his surrender was also complete, unquestionable, lifelong, without any doubts. That's where he got his conviction. And every time in his later life as a sannyasi, when he got stuck, it was his guru's guidance which guided him. It was Mata's guidance which guided him, because the faith and surrender was also complete. He understood there are certain things which are out of my logical realm. I have to take a leap of faith. And that too he did with conviction, not blind following, not because, oh, that Babaji, there are so many followers, let me go there also. That Babaji has too many followers, let me go there also. This book is being recommended by so many people, let me do also. No. He read Western logic, then he read Western philosophy, then he read all European modern and ancient history. He went through everything. It's not that he did not consume so much information, but he always passed it through the filter of his own logic and understanding. He knew who is writing it. He knew what is the purpose of writing this book. He could filter everything. He could see everything. And it is because of that, he had tremendous conviction in whatever he did. That is what created the impact on 9/11/1893. When he stood up and just told that sisters or brothers of America, this similar line was actually told by a couple of more speakers. But they did not see that kind of conviction. When Swami Vivekananda stood up and spoke that, it was instant connection. Because the man was not speaking from a book, from a written speech. He was speaking from his conviction. His decision was, whatever he did, it came out of complete faith, complete surrender, complete conviction. Not because of the herd mentality. Oh, everybody is doing, let me do. So the students need to realize today, if you are choosing a career option, if you are choosing why to do this and why not to do this, please ask some simple question. Am I just being a follower just because 10 people are doing this? Am I doing because of that? Or have I done some solid introspection? When was the last time you sat for contemplation, asking some solid question to yourself? Swamiji did it almost every day. He asked these questions. Have you seen God? Have you seen God? He has gone to so many people. He didn't just leave it, oh, because my father is so logical, because my mother is so spiritual, let me believe whatever they say. That's not Vivekananda. Because everybody is worshipping God, let me also worship. No, that's not Vivekananda. That's not Narendranath. And that's not he wanted the youth of India to be. First, he wanted you to believe that, to understand that you are Amrutasya Putraha, you are spirit immortal. The moment you shift this identity, there is unimaginable energy and faith you get. Because you understand this body is just temporary. The quality of fear comes in the body. It's not spirit's quality. Spiritual person cannot be fearful. That's why Vivekananda was absolutely fearless. So, second thing is conviction. I told you, you have to contemplate, you have to think, you have to question, and then once you understand, then you have to move ahead in the life. And if you don't understand, seek guidance, keep on seeking guidance. We have forgotten the art of staying with our things, staying with our questions. We have forgotten the art. If we don't get the question well, we just leave it. If we don't get the answer, we just give any simple conclusion. If I don't understand the virus, I just say, virus is fake. It doesn't come. I just see a WhatsApp video and there is one person saying, vaccination is dangerous. I start believing that. Another person says, no, vaccination is important. I started believing that. Then I get confused. Kyun? Baba, you are not using your mind. You are lazy to understand the logic. And you do not even have the clarity. That if I don't understand the factor much, I don't have to be a doctor. At least whom should I believe? A person who understands vaccine, he will tell me about vaccine, or a person who doesn't understand ABCD of virus, he's telling anything and I should believe that. When I don't use my mind, I get confused. And this is happening today. WHO is telling it's not just a pandemic, it's an infodemic. All sort of videos circulating. Somebody's telling, if you take vaccine, you will die in 2 years. 2 years, whole country will die, whole world will die. You've seen those videos, right? The amount of misinformation and disinformation we pass through, and some of the so much highly educated people simply forward it without understanding that I may be biased. Maybe I have to verify this. Put lemon in your nose and COVID will go. Arey wah. This whole world is just mad. Take this and COVID will go. And this is doing. So many educated people are doing this. So this shows that we have stopped thinking. That's what Britishers wanted us. Britishers wanted us to first lose the identity. We don't feel proud of being in India. An English speaking person suddenly feels superior among all the local language speaking people just because his English is good. And meekly our people surrender just because they cannot speak in English. They feel they are inferior. This is what Britishers wanted. Britishers wanted us to feel low of our Indian identity, Indian dressing sense, Indian culture, Indian festivals, Indian food. And this is what exactly the current generation goes, because they didn't want us to think. Because if we asked question, why are we longest standing civilization? Why are we having so many customs? Why there are so many people of different variety and different kind of cultures, religions can stay together? Are we not very tolerant? If they would have started asking question, Britishers wouldn't have survived here. They brainwashed us. Macaulay wanted us to our brain to wash, and he succinctly did it. So we need to understand that Swamiji actually gave that remedy for us. And the last point, and after that I'll open it for question. The last point was, how do I overcome this problem of focusing? Because I'm not able to focus. That's again a big challenge with so many students, that how can I focus? And Swamiji was popular for his concentration. The way he used to read books and he could recite things, Encyclopedia Britannica, he could recite everything. I mean, so much verbatim, sometimes even with a paragraph with a comma and full stop. How could he do it? You have to understand that Vivekananda's idea of concentration was, number one, purity. And when I say purity, I'm not just talking about brahmacharya and chastity and all that. I'm not talking just about that. Yes, there is purity and character required, no doubt. But his emphasis, if you see from today's point of view, for many people, it could be not having conflicting intentions. Conflicting intention. I'm sitting and watching this talk, but my intention there is, oh, I have to cook this there, I have to cook that there, today I have to do this. Somewhere my intention I have not surrendered myself for next 1 hour to this talk. My mind will not remain focused. I have kept unanswered questions in my mind. For example, I'm sitting here and in my mind I have kept, what will I cook today? Okay. The mind's nature is, it always searches the answers of the questions you give. That's the mind's nature. You give it a question, it will look for the answer. Before you go on Google, your mind does the searching. Okay. Now I'm sitting in a talk, I'm listening something, but my mind is busy in answering the question, what should I cook today? What should I eat today? Where should I go after this? What movie should I watch? Something. When I keep this conflicting intention by doing something, there's no purity now. There is mismatch. And with that intention, I cannot get focus. And the second thing, for developing concentration, especially for students, it's like a muscle which you can build. How do you build muscle in gymnasium? You go and you work on it. And you work on it and gradually it improves. Similarly, purely from the academic point of view, if people want to improve concentration, it's simple. How long can I sit without deviating from the point which I want to study? Okay. If I'm sitting and reading something, how long can I hold my attention? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, how long? Okay. And if I can do it 5 minutes today, my next aim should be 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. If I keep doing it consistently, my concentration will improve. It's very simple. It's like a muscle. But for that, first of all, when I'm sitting, I have to have purity of my intention here. That I'm sitting to study, I am very clear in my mind, this is the time for study, and I do not have any conflicting that, oh, I have to watch the movie also, oh, I have to go there also, I have to call that person also, I have to reply to that email, I have to, visit that friend. All those intentions I'm keeping, and now I'm reading. My mind cannot be focused. I have to surrender. Next 1 hour, I surrender myself for understanding this particular topic, for reading this. And then once I surrender, my mind is available for things which I'm offering. And once it is available, the receptivity is high. And now I start studying. And if I do this consistently and keep on increasing the time frame, my reading speed, my focus, my concentration, my sitting power, everything will increase. Swamiji could read 1 page at a time. He had the ability to read first couple of sentences and last couple of sentences and make sense of everything. But this came with a lot of practice. If you see his life, he was a voracious reader, kept on reading, and he was not bothered about what world spoke about him. If you look at his mark sheet and all, he did not get, first class, first university topper. Although all the teachers recognized it, this person is prodigy, is something extraordinary. But he was never bothered about marks and just passing and certificate. Who remembers what qualification Vivekananda had? No. When he went to World Parliament of Religions, he didn't even have all the documents which may be required, bona fide. Because people ask there, how can we allow you to speak there in World Parliament of Religion? Where are your certificates? Where are your letters of recommendations? He didn't go with that. It was just there that Professor Henry Wright, he just spoke to Vivekananda for a few minutes and he could understand to what person I'm speaking, whom I'm speaking. And you know what he writes in his recommendation? This one man, this one monk from India has more knowledge than all our professors put together. And then he also says later on, asking credentials from this person, Vivekananda, will be like asking the sun to state its right to shine in heavens. It's like asking the sun, do you have the right to shine? Vivekananda did not show him certificates. Okay, it was visible in his presence, in his way of talking, in everything. Whereas today's our generation has become too much dependent on papers, certificates. Okay. Even teachers today need to realize this very, very clear. We are not in an information age anymore. If as a teacher, I think my role is to just give information, knowledge, I'm sorry, you're mistaken. Better information and knowledge is available today on platforms, animated way, and no matter how good information you are giving, it is available. That is not enough for today's students to feel valuable in our offering. Then what is important? It is the presentation of information. How can I make my topic simple, memorable? How can I make it presented in a way that students will love it? That's my duty as a teacher today. That will make my student focus and love my subject. Okay. So I told you about three things: the problems of patience, which can be solved if there is an identity shift. Because whenever we operate out of fear, there is no patience. Whenever we operate out of calm, whenever we operate out of this identity that I am already complete, I am the spirit and this is just a game I am playing with this human body. This is just a presence, okay, for this lifetime. When I can understand that and try to see this shift, my fear vanishes. Fear is in the undercurrent of impatient person. A person who is fearless usually will be patient, will have that calmness. Okay. For confusion, how do I overcome confusion? I told you, make choices not by imitation, but contemplation. Then you will have the conviction in your choices. Then you will have the maturity to make a choice and stick with it for some time. Okay. After you make a choice, you have to discipline yourself that for next 6 months, I will not look here and there. I'll stick with it. I'll choose to be choiceless. Then only we can make our decisions correct. And the third thing, as I told you, how do I overcome the problem of lack of focus or concentration? Of course, it goes without saying, if there is overload information, I have to cut down that. I have not even mentioned that, but that's very natural. Okay. If I'm consuming information without contemplating, just taking on, it will create indigestion. What I have to do is, first of all, I have to see that there are no conflicting intentions when I'm doing something. Okay. And second thing, I have to build my focus muscle, concentration muscle by daily abhyasa, practice. Abhyasa is very important in Indian thought process. Abhyasa is sacred. If you see anybody who has achieved repute, maybe a cricketer, a musician, they do riyaz, they do net practice. Okay. Even after playing for 20 years, an international cricketer, it may be his retirement day, but that morning he'll go and do his net practice and play the match. Because abhyasa is sacred. For us, in today's world, we have probably missed that kind of practices. If we start doing that, slowly the focus also develops. So with this, I stop here. Thank you so much for listening to me very patiently. And if there are any questions, I'm open to take it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We do have a couple of questions. I just opened the WhatsApp group where the people registered their name to attend this program. I have some of the questions with me. The people can also ask the question directly to the resource person by raising the hand. I can unmute you and you can ask the question directly to the resource person. You can raise the hand. Till then, I'll just ask one question from Avikshit Rai. He's from Mangalore. He's the coordinator of one of the reputed college in Mangalore. As more than the COVID issues, I believe people experience lot of psychological and mobile addiction problems, especially in the students. So according to you, what kind of solutions or activities can educational institutions can do to overcome this kind of addictions and the psychological problems?
Yes.
Over to Vivek.
Abhishek, wonderful question. And even I like the way you have phrased the question, because you are asking the solution and you are not just mentioning the problem. So here, as you have mentioned in the question itself, that what kind of activities the organizations should do so that we can come out of this problem. So we have to always give an alternative. Okay. Till I have the best alternative, my mobile in front of me, which will give me the entertainment, knowledge of what I want, I would give up the lower one. So I have to find out in my life, in my daily routine, something which can give me more value than my mobile phone. It can make me do that. And in my view, the best thing, some of the things which I would suggest or I can think of, which institution level and personal level we can do is, number one, developing at least one hobby. When I say hobby, something which you do at regular basis. Okay. Hobby could be music, could be painting, could be writing, could be dancing. It could be anything, but indulging into it on daily basis, which we love. Okay, obviously. Then getting into team activity. Now, obviously, in pandemic situation, you are not allowed to be on ground with team. But anything which is done with a communion, with a unit, like you can get associated with organizations like Ramakrishna Mutt is there. Okay, many other organizations are there. If you get associated with them, let us say Vivekananda Study Center is there. Now you see youth here is involved in something productive. They have given themselves a high ideal. They have given themselves a purpose. They have to conduct these many lectures. You have to do this. Now there are 10 different things they are doing. Ranjanji might have delegated, okay, you will look after social media aspect, you will look after a template, you will connect to the people, you will invite. All these people are involved on a mission level. What happens when we are involved on something very purposeful? It automatically gets us rid of anything other than, because anything doing purposefully with a sense of purpose, and purpose which is a little beyond me and myself, will always liberate us. Is always at the end of it will make us feel good. Even I am involved in so many such activities, and I know when we do a program and when we are involved into it for 15 days, 20 days, and after doing it successfully, the kind of satisfaction it gives, it is simply it's very difficult to express in the words. So when we go through such experiences, we realize that short-lived happiness which comes out of just watching the next social media post, then doing something purposeful, which will give a long-lasting fulfillment. Once I experience this, it's easy for me to detach. Otherwise, yes, mobile addiction is a big problem today. Nomophobia is an actual thing today. No mobile phobia, and in the attention economy, the world is trying to take our attention. Okay, your Amazon, Google, Apple, day and night they are doing research to take more of your attention. So it's up to us. How can we get rid of it?
Thank you, sir. As you rightly said, have a one habit to improve ourselves and to involve with the team, socializing more to overcome the psychological issues and mobile addiction. Thank you. I'll go for the next question. Mrs. Subhadra, but she's a teacher. She asked a question, a very interesting question, as she's a teacher. How to make youngsters develop a habit of reading books? They straightly go to Google. We didn't realize how time flew. The very useful points, as she also appreciated it. Sir, her question is how to make youngsters develop the habit of reading books. Yes, sir. So,
Subhadra ji, in fact, this is a very, very important question, and this has been asked so many times. Even I think, see, Google is not the problem. But after going on Google, do I have the discipline to open the book and read? On Google also, I can get and read so many books. Whole Vivekananda complete works are available. But do I have the discipline to do that? Okay, because we like it or not, whenever technology will make things simpler for us, people will move away from it. We cannot make them hold them to it. So book reading habit ideally should be developed in the childhood. Okay, in the childhood, it's if the parents have the habit of reading books, usually children will pick up. Or if the parents create an atmosphere where the students and children there in their family, in their society where they live, they're into habit of reading book. It could be story book, it could be, any interesting biographies and all. When they do that, then this habit develops. But if we think that as a teacher, I'll tell we should read books, it doesn't usually happen with 99.9% of people. Yes, what I can do is I can take one wonderful book, simple book, easy to read book, and I can every day tell students, this book has changed my life. This book is fascinating. I can just tell one good thing about that book. This book changed the life of Anna Hazare. This book changed, when I do that, maybe there are a few students who will be, okay, there may be something interested, let us try, and they do it. Because it's difficult to make new habits. Knowledge doesn't bring transformation. And for it, we need to transform the environment. We need to transform ourselves. The parents and teachers need to transfer. Unfortunately, I don't see many teachers today getting habit of reading books. Okay, that's an unfortunate truth today. So, not an easy answer. At childhood level, we have to do. And another thing is we have to create an atmosphere. In college, as a teacher, I have to encourage. Only then it can happen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful answer. One more question I got from one of the HM of the local school, Gujarat English Medium School. Can you suggest activity which help us to increase the focus level?
Okay.
Or else, tips or ideas to improve the focus?
Yeah. So first and foremost importance is we need to understand what are our non-negotiable. I'm talking focus in a broad aspect. I'm not talking about concentration in reading and all, in a broader aspect. Okay. When I know what is non-negotiable in my life, I have to lock few things, that these are the 3 things I have to do every day in life, every day, or maybe every week, some things, So what happens? It brings a sense of priority in our life. For example, for me, I have few non-negotiables, like I read every day, I write every day, I market every day, I spend time with my kids every day, and I exercise every day. Okay, these are my 5 like non-negotiables. So I do it no matter what happens. What happens when you have the clear sense of priority, your focus towards those things which have priority in your life will automatically develop over time. Okay? Because this is one thing I know matters in my life. So by inference, I know other things do not matter. The problem why we don't focus today is we try to do everything, and that takes away the focus. So I have to discipline myself to get clear that what is non-negotiable in my life, what is my primary responsibility in this phase of life. As a student, my books, maybe my academics, may be my primary thing. Maybe my health is my another very important thing. As a parent, maybe my children and their development could be one of the primary thing. My finances could be my second primary thing. Like that, I have to know what can take my 3 to 4 hours of extra time, other than eating, sleeping, and doing my routine work. Where can I devote my 3 hours every day? And what are those few activities which are non-negotiable, means which I have to do no matter I like or not. Slowly, the focus towards that will develop. That's the approach.
Thank you, sir. I got one more question from Mrs. Sarita Shetty. She says that Swami Vivekananda is the highest level of role model for anybody anywhere in the world. His ideology have to be incorporated in the academics from a smaller classes of our next generation. So how can we do this to Dr. Vivek Modi?
Yes. So here, we have to always put our focus on things which are in our hand. Okay. So I can say so many things. Government should do this, organization should do this, education institute should do this, but at the end, that's not in my hand, in our hand. So let us put this question like, what can I do to ensure that message of Swamiji is spread as much as possible? And for that, the first and foremost thing, even Swamiji told, see, Swami Vivekananda doesn't need our marketing to make him popular. That's not his requirement. But if we can try to live with what he preached, if we can try to become a role model, at least in our own sense, then we encourage indirectly other people. If I, before telling that, yes, Swami Vivekananda has to be taught everywhere, I have to ensure I have read Swami Vivekananda and understood it. Otherwise, Swami Vivekananda would not be happy. Without understanding him, if I'm just promoting because there are 10 more people who are telling that, that will not be right thing. I have to understand. Once I understand, Swamiji himself will give me a lot of ideas. It's It's magical. Once you read Swami Vivekananda, your concepts becomes clear. You understand so much about India, about thought process, about struggle of mind. So much he has given. So we don't have to bother about what others will do. We have to see in my life, what can I do? For example, when I go for my sessions and all many places, I keep small books of Swamiji, small story books, his quotations and all. And whenever there is a small competition in my audience, I give those books like, okay, you take. These are small books like 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 15 rupee, highly, concentrated knowledge is available there. We can give that. And children like that. We can tell stories, parables of Sri Ramakrishna. We can tell stories to our kids. Who stops us? I, as a student, a college, can take a decision that in my apartment, all the students, all the children, I will, see that every evening I'll tell them one story. And I can tell. So I would say that please focus on the things which I can do. And ask yourself this question, what are the things I have done in last month to spread the message of Swamiji? And that way, I think we will go much ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. As you rightly said, the stories certainly inspire our younger generation. As we say, sir, Katha, Kel and Geet. So
Yes.
this Katha, Kel and Geet will certainly inspire the children, and we can bring the Swamiji's Katha, Kel and Geet. So let me go to the next question. I can, Dr. Mohan Shinge is a professor from Social Work Department of Mangalore University. Sir, he's raised his hand. Can you please turn on the camera and you can ask the question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, sir. Over to Dr. Mohan Shinge, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Congratulate you, sir, for having a beautiful presentation, sir. My question is to the presenter. He has presented 3 important components. My question is about second and third component. Second component, what he has said is about contemplation, and in the third component, he emphasized about the concentration. Contemplation and concentration, both are polar opposite according to me. So in spirituality, contemplation means being aware about everything, but in concentration, it emphasizes on focusing only one thing. So which the students or the youngsters, they have to follow, whether contemplation or concentration?
Yes. Wonderful question. I think this could come only from a very learned man. Thank you so much for asking this question. See, when I say contemplation and concentration, yes, at surface they look pole apart, okay, but actually they are very complementary. Okay? They are not pole apart. It's like, head and tail looks pole apart. Both are in the different direction, but they are complementary. Even in neurophysiology, in psychology, this thing comes. There are 2 ways of thinking. One is called diffuse thinking and one is called focused thinking. And both are equally important. While contemplation helps us in checking through the other things, which are possibilities. It's like possibility thinking. Contemplation can be done through asking questions. For example, I can ask this question to myself, some deep question if I have to ask. Imagine if I was not born as a Hindu or as a Jain. Imagine if I was born in America. What will be my thought process? How will I look at my life? What are the things I will justify? When I ask this question, there's contemplation happening. So contemplation is purely asking directed questions where we take focus with our choice. The important aspect here is, please do not consider contemplation as ruminating. Ruminating is random thought. I am thinking sometimes here, sometimes there, sometimes there. Whereas contemplation is well-directed thought. It's like I am having a flashlight and I'm looking in one area, the next area, the next area, the next area, the next area. Yes, I am looking at so many areas, but at one time, one area, and at one time, when I'm looking at one area, there's a purpose behind it. It's not purposeless ruminating. So that kind of contemplation is what I'm talking. It's not about defocusing. It's about focusing on everything for a little time so that food for thought comes, so that seeds comes. Then we can decide which seed is important to be sowed and nurtured and develop as a plant. So as a doctor, I think, okay, what should I talk about? Like I make YouTube videos, I made this. So I think about what should be the topic. This. Contemplation is happening. After that, no, out of this, I think this is the most relevant for the people today. Take this and then start developing that down, nurture that seed as a plant. So diffuse thinking and focused thinking, both are important and both should be done by the students. In fact, in the diffuse thinking during contemplation, sometimes creativity comes, new thought process comes, new ideas comes, possibility thinking happens. So both are equally important, and they are not against each other. They are complementary to each other.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So many are appreciating you, sir, for that wonderful thoughts. So there's a lot of question is coming. I'll take 2 more questions and before we wind up the session. Sir, there's one of the interesting question has come. Why only the good people suffer? And is it bad? Is it bad to be good?
This comes actually many times. Very interesting question, and it has come to be earlier also.
Yes.
See, there is a feeling when good people suffer, a good person thinks, he's a good man. Why is he suffering? Then people have all kind of answers. We have to suffer our karmas, this, that. A lot of theories comes here around it. Okay, but what I would suggest here is, rather than I'll rather feel it's a wrong question. I mean, I'm not telling to the questioner, but when I'm thinking, okay, I should not think, or I should not ask this question, why only good people suffer? I should ask, what is the reason bad people are able to make so much noise and get noticed? So the fact is, when I do this fact check, and you can read some of the speeches, some of the letters and articles by Stephen Pinker. Okay, although he is an atheist and all, but then there's a lot of solid logic in many things. So if you read Stephen Pinker, he'll say overall the life has improved. Overall, the good people are getting more advantage in today's world. Overall, the world has become more transparent. Overall, things have improved. Only thing is, negativity, bad people get more highlight. Okay, and because of that, we think everybody is bad, and newspapers pick up that, media picks that. So it's not that good people only suffer. All suffer. All have to go through what they do, right or wrong. It's only human tendency, because of a safety mechanism in our mind, that we focus more on what is dangerous, what is abnormal. This is because of a safety mechanism in our psychological setup, in our evolution. Our mind is primarily, the primitive mind is primarily for survival, not for happiness. Therefore, we see negative things first and positive things later. Yes, so it's an illusion.
Thank you, sir.